would you do if this was your dog? What would you do if your dog did this every time a new person came into your home? Would you choose to seek out other options besides euthanasia? With roughly 4.5 million people who report being bitten by a dog each year, dog aggression is the most serious and most common behavior found in dogs. Dog aggression is not only a problem for human safety, but it also puts an unnecessary stress on aggressive dog owners. Owners often struggle with what actions they should take with their aggressive dog and often attempt to curb aggressive behavior through physical punishment or confinement. This can severely impact a dog's welfare, which is why it is imperative to educate owners with aggressive dogs about the steps they should follow in training and managing their aggressive dog. There are many types of aggression. Some of these include territorial, protective, possessive, social, and fear aggression. The type of aggression I will be focusing on is fear aggression. Fear-aggressive dogs become that way because of a situation where they have not been raised and trained humanely. Examples of inhumane treatment are being left alone for long periods of time, little socialization, or prior negative punishment or confrontational training. The signs of a dog being fear-aggressive are signals of fear such as retreating, cowering, lip-licking, yawning, baring teeth, growling, lunging, and inflicting shallow bites designed to remove the threat rather than doing physical harm. This is my dog Ellie. She was a prime example of a fear-aggressive dog, and became that way because of her past. Ellie was severely abused in her earlier life, and this abuse led her to have triggers of aggression in unpredictable situations. When I became her owner, we went through a journey of training and managing to try and reverse what had happened to her. Throughout this journey, we followed the steps in which every owner with a fear-aggressive dog should follow: training, medication, and managing. The first training technique that most owners will recommend is to take note of what situations or what triggers a dog to become aggressive. Many fear-aggressive dogs have certain triggers that cause them to be aggressive, such as large or tall individuals, men, and someone's attire. These triggers are often a result of the situation that caused a dog to be fear-aggressive, and owners are encouraged to log these situations. Once these triggers are determined, a person can use these triggers as a guide in training and managing a fear-aggressive dog. Once you know your dog's triggers, reenactments can be carried out to desensitize a dog, which allows the dog to realize that their trigger is really not going to harm them. A prime example of a trigger for a fear-aggressive dog is a new people coming into the front door of your home. In this situation, you can create a reenactment or a situation where you plan for a new person to come into your home. During this reenactment, you will practice your dog being calm and by giving it treats and positive reinforcement when the person walks in the door. This is an example of a trainer training a dog in a reenactment, and her name is Victoria Stillwell.
One of the good. Stay.
Often fear-aggressive dogs have a hard time focusing in their trigger situation, such as a person coming through the door. For this reason, an owner needs to train their dog to focus on them. This will involve practicing basic commands such as sit, lay down, and most importantly, look at me. Once your dog is able to focus on you as their owner, less focus will be put on their trigger, and over time they will realize that their trigger is not going to harm them. Something that worked best for my dog Ellie was to direct her to an area of the house, like her bed or right outside the kitchen, that she knew was hers and she felt safe. As you will see in this video, after much practice, she knew what to do when I told her out. This is what we did when a new person would come into the house, and as she sat in her designated area, I would positively reinforce with treats and praise. Doing reenactments many times will help to teach your dog your fear-aggressive dog that their trigger is not going to harm them, and this will help them become less and less aggressive towards these triggers.
Out. Out, Ellie. Good girl.
Now it is Possible that training will not be enough for your fear-aggressive dog because of the severity of their condition. In these cases, there is another option that is available. One of these options is medication. From a presentation on aggressive dog behavior by a doctor of veterinary medicine, Karen Overall, there are 4 main reasons medication can help dogs, such as fear-aggressive dogs. These reasons are: they cannot read the signals that others are giving them, they cannot use or process the information they get from these signals, they cannot make decisions based on the information they get, and they cannot communicate their decision in a way that is helpful. In order to get medication for your dog, you will need to make an appointment with your veterinarian about your dog's situation and type of aggression. During this appointment, they can prescribe a medication that will help your dog with anxiety related to their triggers. For example, my dog Ellie was on a medication called fluoxetine. This is an antidepressant that is used to treat behavioral disorders, including obsessive-compulsive behaviors, stereotypies, aggression, and inappropriate elimination. To simplify, this medication helped Ellie to be able to relax and focus to a certain extent during training sessions, which allowed her to get more out of her reenactments with her triggers. It is possible even after training and medication, your dog still displays aggressive tendencies. In this situation, the last option is to manage. The main way to manage an aggressive dog is to always have a muzzle on your dog and keep him or her away from situations where they will encounter their triggers. For example, when going on walks, only walk in an area you know there are not a lot of other people or dogs. The muzzle will be there just in case a trigger is encountered and your dog becomes aggressive. I found myself at this stage with my dog Ellie. Even after all the training and medication, Ellie was still severely aggressive towards her triggers. On top of that, her triggers were often unpredictable, so I was unable to know when she was going to lash out. Although she was the perfect dog with my boyfriend and I, she was aggressive in many other situations. This is where, as an owner, I had to make the unfortunate decision to euthanize Ellie. Although this option should be a last resort, it may be the most humane for your dog. Constantly being scared and on edge can be very difficult for an animal, and no matter how much you do, you can sometimes never reverse that fear. Dr. Anna Ruel, a small animal veterinarian, explains it as neurons in a dog's brain can permanently change when they live in a stressful and inhumane situation, causing them to always live in fear no matter what we do for them. Although Ellie was an exception, many fear-aggressive dogs can be trained and managed to live a long, healthy life. This process will be long and take a great amount of effort on the owner's side, but will always pay off in the end. Again, to determine if your dog can respond to training and management, or your dog is too damaged to be able to recover these steps, these steps must be followed: determining triggers, training, medication, and management. For more information and help, I encourage all owners with fear-aggressive dogs to seek out help through their veterinarian and a dog trainer.